Good morning. I just went out and did a lawn. It was more of a favor than anything, and this is usually the way favors get repaid. But anyway, the question that comes up is, well, would I want to get wheels with all this happening? Well, this is nothing new, and I'm pretty well resolved to the fact that it's never going to end. Customers don't understand, and they never will. Factors like leaving flagging out, leaving little decorative things, and whatever. So, but my solution, no, is not wheels yet, and the reason being is that Michelin or whoever is the manufacturer now can't predict what my mower would weigh, so they can't build that wheel with the flexibility that I need to get the suspension at the first point of contact with an anomaly. So where that becomes important is as I continue to lighten my machines to make them more fast and efficient, both in operation on the yard and with being able to have flexibility on a tow vehicle, then I can adjust an air inflated tire that I cannot adjust for with something like the wheels, where the webbing in between is what dictates how much flexibility you have, and you can't change that for the weight of the machine that it's installed on. So one of the plans I'd had, obviously, with these decks no longer being available, was to recreate that deck with a composite structure that would be significantly lighter, and I'm hoping I get to it. This is actually the busiest time of the year for me. I've had projects stacked up around the house, and I'm finally getting to them, and of course maintaining the vehicles and everything. Hang on, let me flip this around. So the thing is that I have had to work mad scramble every day for as long as I can remember now, ever since the season started slowing down, just to catch up on projects on infrastructure and routes, and I haven't even actually started doing any of the work on improving my routing and my business model on billing and stuff like that, which I have that planned, and I was going to also do flyers and things like that to try to consolidate my route and stuff. But anyway, another reason I haven't had videos out is that once I don't beat a dead horse, I can see the algorithm's never going to let me have any distribution. And where that's important is, one, I can't then justify my time putting out videos when I have a feeling that it's important in what I have to say as far as environmentally and advice maybe. But secondarily is I had products that were to come out on the marketplace, out there on the, the standard platforms where a person would want to sell stuff. So without having first the viewership that I would get, the exposure I want for the new products that I was developing, is the first problem with the way I got shut down and the way that the algorithm, well, I saw myself being shadow banned and my videos. You don't go from, I was growing at the normal pace for most people in this type of videos, and in that growth pattern, what I was seeing was that some of my later videos, well, right before I realized what was going on, were starting to hit like 100 views an hour, and I think a second or third one of that nature, all of a sudden it was no views after hour 12, and then one view between hour 12 and hour 24, and on a nationwide platform of something that's it's growing, because momentum means more than anything on driving value in people's minds. So if you break that momentum just a little bit at the right point in time, you can effectively change the direction that anybody's channel or whatever might take. And where that becomes important is then the next stage was that I was going to release some products that are relevant to the industry of lawn service and everything. And of course, I made a point to never express political views or anything else on my channel. But I think what happened is they saw what I was watching, and maybe then they'd made a determination that we don't want this guy to grow because his viewpoints don't align with ours, and it's easier to have enemies that are insignificant and are busy on a daily basis trying to put food on the table versus somebody who has gained affluence because their work ethic and stuff, they put out a product and they were successful or whatever. I'm not saying that was what I would be, but it's a lot easier to shut people down that you don't agree with initially than to wait till they become affluent and successful, and then try to develop a time machine to go back in time to shut them down before they became successful. You see what I'm saying? Or to try to, or they have a viable enemy because a person that's more successful can have more reach, and therefore that's more opposition. So you're better off to shut down your opposition in its infancy, okay? And then that's the first best scenario, and that's what they're, I think, doing. And then the next best scenario with the time machine, you go back and you shut them down before they. And then the worst is when you're having to face an enemy that's as strong as you are, or an opponent. Let's call it an opponent. Let's not go to the extreme. But anyway, for all those reasons, I haven't beat a dead horse and put out videos. It's just stupid. It's a waste of my time. And climbing on and off of a mower, I don't have the best videography skills for sure. But the nature of me is that I'm almost always solo. And I'm not going to be climbing off a mower risking, I'm older, and if I put a foot under that deck and chop a leg off at the ankle, I'm screwed. And also, the converse is that if I'm always disengaging and engaging the PTO clutch on a 72-inch mower, that's a lot more load forces. So you're going to wear out belts, you're going to wear out PTO clutches. And if you want to get a comprehensive video on any lawn, I don't know how it can't be, how you could even do it without at least doing 6 to 10 resets of your stand and camera. Okay, I don't see how you could. You couldn't get a broad enough coverage. So for all those reasons, I haven't been putting out the videos. So if you were one of the few that was watching them, sorry, I just can't do that right now, for sure, unless things change. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. No, I won't be doing the wheels. I just need that. I need that suspension at the tire, because that's the lightest way to put suspension at anything. And also, when you do it that way, you aren't putting down singular force at one point. So like with a 6 psi big fat tire on the back like this, you go up on top of a sprinkler head and it's going to mushroom around it. It's not going to put all the weight of the mower right down on that sprinkler head. Also, I forgot to mention, it completely eliminates turn burn, because if you see some of my videos on tall grass, the one where it has the house with the brick facade on the front, you'll notice that when I had some of the sniper type shots, when I came onto the concrete and then changed direction to go, you'll notice the sidewall of my tires, they actually wrinkle up like a drag race, a slick. You'll see the wrinkling on the sidewall just of going forward, okay? But another thing that happens when you turn with a low pressure tire, the rim turns because it's fastened to the chassis, but the tread surface doesn't. You can turn that rim probably 30 degrees and it will not move that tread surface at all. Now, where the tread surface will realign with the rim, but usually as you roll out. Well, that's a lot less impactful than to sit in one position and rotate. And that's why, another reason why I can't see myself going away from pneumatic tires. Now, as a video I did earlier, I did get this material, and I can't remember the name of it, so you just have to go back and look, that you put into tires, and then as a consequence, it keeps, you can, the video at a GIE, they were running a tractor tire over a board with nails, and it was, as each puncture happened, it was re-sealing each puncture, and that's what I ran in the front, and it's working. Now this puncture here is on the sidewall. That's the worst place to get it because you got that flex every time you come around. So most plugs and patches don't work there because they'll get sand and stuff incorporated into the goo, and then they'll leak, and that flexing doesn't help. So I'm hoping that that's going to help me out here, because I simply can't right now go away from this setup. And another thing too, we were talking about weight. The way I understand it, the wheels, they're heavier than pneumatic. So I don't want to do anything that puts weight on, because I don't know what's going to happen this next year with fuel economy, and that would change what tow vehicle I need. And then where that comes in is I can't have too much flexibility with tow vehicle for economy if the mower still weighs 30,000 pounds. Okay, we'll see you later.